Go.
Welcome to the Comedy Crew Podcast. I'm Aeneas Herrera. I'm with
Cole Simper.
Isaac Cicini.
and Branson Molinar. And we're here talking about basically the sketches and how we just the process of writing them, making them, the ideas, where we came up with them. And the first one we're talking about is the sketch called Voodoo Danger. Unfortunately, we realized we were way too inexperienced to actually go through with this sketch. But it was still a fun process. It was definitely the first learning process with the group. What's weird is, I know Branson can contest to this, but it goes back to around 4 years ago when we started this. It was a whole different group. Just a whole different goddamn group. I don't know, it was weird then. We came up with it and there was a company name as the name of the skit, and we had to change that, and we ended up coming with, I feel like it was a pretty clever...
I think we can say it was Mike's Hard.
It was Mike's Hard. It was a Mike's Hard commercial, and then we changed it into Voodoo Danger. It was funny. It was a cool thing. Basically, the whole thing stayed the same. The sketch is about some 6 college friends going to one of their buddies' house, drinking a beer that happens to be haunted, and every time they spin the bottle, whoever it lands on dies.
Well, I thought the whole thing about the sketch was the thing that it was haunting them had nothing to do with the bottle, and he just chose the bottle as a funny way to kill them. Because if we look back at it, Alice dies before the bottle's even as the bottle's brought out. I guess if you think about it, Chet points the bottle to Alice before she dies, which I think is something that we never really thought of until now. But she is technically the first person the bottle was pointed towards.
Well, that's how, I don't know. Me and Branson, when we were writing this sketch, we went back and forth for a long time on whether the pointing of the bottle mattered. And I think at the end of it, we decided that it didn't?
We came up with everyone drank the bottle from the bottle, and that was what led to them dying. Mm-hmm. There's going to be one person who didn't die. That was going to be the end of it. The problem is we started filming. I wasn't here at the beginning, and they didn't get down the scene of them all drinking from the bottle. So a lot of things were unclear, but that was the point, was they all drank from the bottle. That's why Alice dies right away. She'd already taken a shot from that bottle.
And
but yeah, Aeneas forgot about that kind of when you guys were all filming, and it got left out. And it was just filming.
Honestly,
stuff
I didn't even write that into the script.
Right, okay.
And I think that's what it came down to, is this was a group of people who we no longer work with. And I rushed the script writing it by myself when this idea wasn't totally originated by myself. Me and Branson, probably more, because we worked on it multiple times.
We added a lot.
We added a lot from when we created it with that group. Because
originally it was just, we were using Mike's Hard because hard was in the name. So it was you were drinking hard and now there's a demon coming to kill you. That's how hard you're drinking. And it was that basic. It wasn't a curse when you drank the bottle. But we realized we needed to change it. I thought of Voodoo Ranger. We call it Voodoo Danger. And it's not a beer called Voodoo Danger. It's a bottle of voodoo with a danger logo on it. So it just says Voodoo Danger. And then they all drink from it, and that's why they die. So originally, yeah, it wasn't that drinking from it caused their death.
We had a really offensive character at first when we first came up with it. We're not going to say what the character is, but we did. We had a really...
It was a placeholder,
It was a placeholder, but it was going multiple ways. We had it to where one of the characters in the house were the killer. I don't know. The original script is just so different than what we ended up.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of changes that happen throughout a plot and a script like this, and it was probably one of the better scripts that we could have gone with to start and see what we actually want to do and how we want to create a vision and what we want to do with that vision. You gave us a lot of insight on how do we need to go about filming, how do we need to go about introducing actors to their characters and going over lines and because at the end of the day it was essentially we were using it as a practice script to find what it is that we really need to focus on, and then that's where like our other like future projects are gonna like be led by is all the information that we gain from this practice script will bring us to a point to where we're like creating phenomenal things.
Well, so that's actually a perfect segue because we can go and talk about the things we actually did learn from this. And one of the big things I learned from being in the writer's room is we have to do table reads. We have to make...
we didn't think of that at all. It's like having people practice the
Practice
lines.
know the lines
It was like, show up, all right, here's the line, you're on camera.
I remember,
And go.
like I remember me and Isaac sitting there on the couch and we were like, okay, like we have a couple lines, but like I don't think I've ever seen anyone normally talk like this.
Yeah, I was like, this just doesn't seem natural. Like none of it was flowing. I was like, all right, we have our lines, and nope, that's not what it sounded like. Line. Like we kept having to like restart constantly just because of.
But through that, we kind of like understood that the way that we work best and with the actors that we have is if we have a joke, because there were some good jokes that we had in there. If we have a joke, put that joke in there and then let the actors kind of like work out. And I know me and Isaac are, we'll be here a lot, but have them like while we're reading through that, we can kind of see like where we can make that joke work the best by just like bouncing off of each other in that like a similar situation.
Like
and that's something that we can do
like,
at table reads.
Like a context to like kind of like just setting up the joke.
You guys didn't even know what the skit was about.
No, that was a big thing. I didn't even convey that we were supposed to film it like a commercial. That was something none of the actors knew. That was something I didn't really remember at the time of filming. And it was just, that's honestly what completely ruined all the progress we made because it was not shot the way it should have been shot.
Yeah, we were all definitely taking it like we're supposed to be acting. Mm-hmm. We forgot like it was completely supposed to be like, this is supposed to be funny.
Yeah, funny commercial.
Supposed to be entertaining.
And that's a huge thing where the table reads are going to come into because we're going to be able to, the writers, we're going to be able to completely convey to you guys what's going to happen, where your characters go, how long your characters need to be there. There's going to be a lot of work.
And that's a big part of why we're switching skits, because we could have made Voodoo Danger work.
Mm-hmm.
We realized, let's just write something simpler to get practice done.
Exactly. And honestly, the one we're cooking up, I'm really enjoying writing that one.
That one's been in the brewing stand for a while, but yeah, it's looking good now.
It's honestly, I've had more fun writing that one than I have Voodoo Danger.
Literally, like 8 times better organized and quality wise, and like, not saying it's funny or not, but I'm just saying we've done better about making sure it's gonna be easy to film and not confusing for people.
That, and then I think another thing that we need to go through before we get to a deciding like film day is we need to sit down with like probably me, Branson, Aeneas, and go over a storyboard on like what we want to see in the shot, and that'll help us like determine beforehand where we need to be taking that shot from. Because there was a lot of times in that Voodoo Danger where it's like, does this shot look good? Does this shot look good? And it's kind of hard for me like to convey where the shot would look better without seeing where everything is kind of situated.
Especially since you're not in the writing process the whole time. And this has been 4 years in development. So.
That's interesting, though, because we want to include you with this new one, because exactly what you're saying, we noticed that, and we're like, okay, we need to really work on where the camera is and like what the fuck we're doing. Like, we need to, it needs to be written so we know what the fuck we're doing when we're filming a scene. But we actually do want your input on that because you know the camera better than anyone. So we've been planning out the shots, and we have like a lot of where shots are broken up, but we'll need your help on like where this shot is, who it's focused on, the distance, all that shit.
Yeah,
we'd really like your input on that for sure.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm more than happy to fucking come in early like days, and my schedule might get a little hectic here for like a couple weeks, but I am.
Oh no, we'll find
absolutely
we'll find
all
days
about
for sure.
it. Like,
Yeah.
I fucking love that aspect of like, because the way that I see it is like the filming and the editing is like where I don't want to say like the magic happens, because the writing room is so important, but at the same time that's where like you take all of this like if I were to put it in like a fantasy type sense, you have this mana that's flowing around you, and you're gathering that mana, and you're putting it into one thing to like maximize its productivity.
I wish we had a nerd button.
That is nerd. Yeah, but like
it works.
It's a decent analogy, and like I'll get better with them.
But a point you brought up earlier is was about schedules and stuff. A big thing is we started filming that late, and I realized we're probably gonna need all day to do one of these things and film it, so we can. Or if not, well, I would like to not waste up so much days of your guys' time because I know I can't pay you or anything.
That's why we've been planning.
Exactly.
We
that's why we
so
want
much
to be.
From that first session, yeah.
But like another thing, doing it in days, so right in the morning, as soon as we wake up, we get here, we all stretch, do what we need to do to warm up.
We always have our stretching routine before we act, too.
Well, because I was and our energy drinks or some stupid thing to get our minds up there. Because I don't know, I don't really.
Can't believe there's no company Keurig yet.
Some coffee and donuts.
Yeah, wait, there is one. If you guys buy cups, there's a Keurig in there.
We just gotta buy company cups. I see.
Damn. We got the company car, just no wheels right now.
Company beers are on me right now, so like.
Cole, I honestly like your mana analogy though, because it's like we have, there's all the mana, but we have different ways of utilizing it in a way.
Yeah.
Where yours, like I'm saying, is like you'll help us so much with where the camera should be because we don't know that as much as you do. You just have more experience, and that's I like that analogy for it honestly. Yeah. I would still hit the nerd button.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd be like,
I get it. But
I can't believe I have to
bro,
buy.
I'm telling you, it was the best analogy I had in the pocket, and it works for almost every aspect on everyone's end.
Well, what's great about this and what I've really learned is I've come to appreciate every aspect of it because I know nothing about editing and I'm relying heavily on you to edit, Cole, and I know Branson's probably I don't know how much you know in editing, but I know you're not afraid to
I just
try
have
it
experience with like similar software, so it's something I can help with if needed, basically.
And that's fair, because I always picture it's like you would
never
never be like afraid to jump in that, and me, I don't even know where to
I'll
start,
be able
and
to
I'm
jump in a little more
scared.
easier.
Yeah.
But with acting, like for one, writing, like we had 2 comics, me and Ron, and then we have Branson over here who have been writing shit for fucking almost 5-6 years.
We've been writing stuff for a while.
For a long time, so
it's kind of weird how much we've written because we haven't seen it as like, us just writing. We're always like, oh, let's do comedy, but it's just we've done a lot of writing practice, which is interesting. We'll just have sessions where we hang out and just write, which is really weird.
And I'm glad that when we're writing stuff, we always know it's gonna be for something eventually, even if we.
Yeah, sometimes we just come up with shit and put it on paper, but it's just practice writing.
Exactly. Which I don't know. The writing room has been really fun. One of my favorite things about what we've been doing with the writing room is when we bring the actors in and we tell you guys, hey, just try this character, try acting like this. That's been really fun. Isaac, how have you enjoyed that?
I've had a lot of fun with it. I mean, I've been getting over it a little bit with the little stage fright every now and then, but it's definitely fun just trying to like act out random scenarios that like you normally wouldn't like see in your everyday life.
I mean, you just jumped in without ever having tried this shit before, too. Like, the confidence to just do that as well. Like, I don't even act, and I don't get how you would just jump in. Like, did you ever do theater in school or anything?
No, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you just jumped in. What the fuck? But yeah,
I was just saying random, seemed entertaining, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm fake being someone I'm not for a little bit.
Well, what I noticed is, like, you're very good at being casual. And, like, I don't have a lot of experience, but I assume a lot of people would get into it and, like, overact and not know how to act like a normal person on camera. But you pulled off a lot of just, like, being a normal person.
I definitely agree with that, because, like, even just the couch scene, the way you were, like...
Body language.
Yeah,
your body language was on point, because, I don't know, I was just very impressed with your body language. Another actor who also had great body language, which was awesome to see, was Grace.
Yeah.
That was wild,
She
bro.
stepped up and she...
Did the outside scene running, like,
Yeah.
Cole filming it well, and then, like...
Her tripping up the stairs,
Yeah.
dog, like, all of that. I was like, wow.
And then her slamming into the door is my
Yeah,
favorite.
just that was so funny.
Bro, repeatedly seeing that from the inside was, like, the most hilarious shit I've ever experienced, bro.
It just
Like,
pretending
just the
to not
constant-
notice.
Oh, shit!
Because Brad's character in the skit was the only one that would notice the little subtle, how it was written, the little subtle
that's
things.
what was so much funnier too, because like even like the person that in front of me, like she didn't notice it, so it's like she had to pretend not to see that, even though someone just full force just plasters themselves into the glass at the fucking door.
Another big surprise actor was meeting Ashlyn. And Grace just bringing over another person willing to just jump in, take a role. We were going to have JJ put on the wig. Luckily, we didn't have to endure that situation.
It was honestly a great surprise, and it was like such a blessing in disguise for like just meeting someone who is so willing to put themselves out there in like it's such a weird situation like that.
With people she does not know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. People she absolutely doesn't know. And just full, like head down, work hard, going at it. And it was phenomenal to see something like that. You know, I gotta give it to Aeneas for actually remembering her name this time. But
damn, I really tried hard that we would have bring that up, but I gotta get roasted sometimes.
I couldn't.
No, it's fair.
I have to say I do the same thing, and I feel bad if she ever heard this for some reason. But like, we just keep saying like Allison, Alice, can't remember it all. Ashley, like we just
it's just
They get close, but never.
And I hate admitting this, but I'm just saying it to say Aeneas is not alone. I did the same thing.
And I don't know. I need to, and it just comes down to not actually really truly knowing her, and that also brings the amount of respect I have her as an actress, because she came in and she came and jumped in, took the main female part, and ran with it.
She's like, yeah, I'll do it. Okay, cool.
We were like, hey, do you think you can run a 400-meter relay? And she was like, yeah, I got a marathon in me.
She's like, make it 800 and get yourself a deal.
Okay.
It's important to note we're not being here like, oh, all these people could win Oscars. We're just noting like the willingness to jump in without like ever having done it before.
Yeah,
and still like do it
I can't
to not
for shit.
seemingly like not the worst amateur level. Like that's why it's impressive. Because we're not saying any of us are good at this. Like
this
we're
is sketch
obviously
comedy,
amateurs.
you
and
know,
beginners.
we're not filming Oppenheimer over here. Like this is
I just want to note that we definitely know we're not like super advanced or anything.
And that goes with every project. That goes with editing. That goes with writing. Like we know that we're just starting out, but it's, I don't know. I've been trying to get this off the ground for 4 years, and actually being able to the film that day was very special for me. And I was like, holy crap, we're gonna be able to write skits, being able to film them. We have the equipment too. It's not the best equipment, but it's definitely somewhere to start.
Yeah,
definitely the beginning.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's better than a phone with nothing but your hands.
Yeah.
Like it is
definitely a lot better.
a lot better, and like we're actually like if needed, we're able to film scenes with an incredible amount of like dynamic angles and like move around and like do things. It gives us a lot of options on top of just basic bullshit while making it look good, and that's one of the best things. And so
Better than you would think it would look.
absolutely.
Especially just from no one doing this before.
Like instead of first skit, it looks like fourth skit. You know?
Yeah,
What
exactly.
Definitely though, like especially like how you just said, like for no one have done this before,
for
like
sure.
that was it
I
was
mean,
genuinely.
you guys are talking about how
crazy.
impressed you are with Grace. That's what we're talking about with you two. We're like, because I'm the same. Where you guys work with Aeneas, but you guys don't know me, and just like in front of strangers to just act like without having done it before. It's the same thing for you guys. You were guys doing as good as they were.
Especially because Grace did bring a posse of people that I know during our first scene we shot was not there.
Bro,
you guys want to actually talk about the change of actually having people watching this film?
Yeah, honestly, so like granted, like me and Isaac haven't known each other for like an incredible amount of time, but like we've hung out, we've had some good times, and like sitting down and acting together on camera in front of the camera for that first time, it just I don't know, it felt like we had like a really good connection. It was super intimate. There was not a lot of people watching, and it flowed super well. I don't know if like you felt the same thing.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's how we've kind of always talked about it, like in the group too. Like me and Cole have had a really good like chemistry with acting with each other. Like we seem to come up with dialogue very quickly off of each other. Like we can ad lib certain scenarios to fill in like a gap or something really quick. Like it's been very like it's easier to act with him, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, but like going from that change of like between just me and you and then like the camera to having like an audience and like a laugh track in the back and like that's kind of what it seemed like. It was
a lot more pressure.
Different. So much more pressure.
We had said it right before we had started like recording again. Once everyone got there, Cole looked at me. He's like, "Yo, like I'm kind of nervous now." And I'm like, "Dog, like actually though, like everyone's here, everyone's watching you. Now you fuck up, everyone's gonna see it."
Bro, legit, if I was in your guys' position, I would have froze and like not been able to say anything. I would not have been able to perform in any way whatsoever.
Because even
like I would not have been able to.
Even the one directing, like when the audience shift, it was like completely different. Because for one, it was just in front of the crew, and you guys understand the process, you respect the process. But when they got there, I had to start raising my voice. I had to start fucking actually being a director. And it was fun. It was cool, and I was so grateful Branson did end up stopping by because he was able to. Because I had a very small part, but I was still in the skit, and Branson was able to take over and run it pretty smoothly. And I'm glad Squid was there. Another little shout out real quick because he was
Squid.
And Brandon too, because Brandon he just jumped in, but was the killer for a couple scenes.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Because honestly, everyone Grace brought was so willing to just jump in and do whatever and give ideas. Even though some of the ideas were very funny, but it was just too late in development to add a whole new fucking dynamic to it.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see that just with randos and like people are just I don't know every time I've experienced adding someone to this group in this final group, everyone's been real willing to do it. Absolutely.
I mean, I think like kind of what like Isaac was talking about. Like when we sat there and we had that conversation, we were like, man, like it's kind of a little nervous, but like us being able to like be there and like having a little bit of like one-on-one time like filming beforehand, I feel like that helped a lot because like when we got to that spot, we were like, okay, even though there's more people, let's just like go back to where we were and what we were doing.
And then it also kind of helped, like for me, like already like filming part of the scene helped me like get into character a little bit easier. So like now I knew like along the lines of what I had to do, so it wasn't as hard to do it in front of people. Like if they were there from like the very beginning, I would have been like, well, well, here we go, first time for everything, you know. But like it was definitely a little bit easier once we had already gotten past the first part and already gotten into like parts of the skit.
And that brings me another question for you, Isaac. How did it feel just on the spot getting thrown an actor that you've never met before, and you had to be the main lead with this actor?
It was definitely different because even like the character situation, like how I said, like with Cole, I'm very like I'm able to have like free will. Like I know I can say something completely out of pocket and he'll be like, oh, haha, and bounce a joke off of it or like continue the scenario type shit. And like with someone new, it's like I don't know what their like that boundary is or like where this stops, where this should stop, or like how commences, you know. So it's like it was a little bit different because it like limited like what I thought I could do just for the like that scene, just because I was very like I shouldn't do this, but this would be really good, but I don't know if they're gonna catch on to that, so they can't continue it. So it's like that kind of just scrap it, throw in the trash real quick. So it was cool, but it definitely was a lot harder to do than say like when I was like with someone that I've already acted with.
And especially just being thrown with as a director with someone who hasn't been in one of our writers' rooms. Because lucky with you guys, you've been there. We've been able to I don't know, you know me as a comic, you know me as my writing style, and basically you know that I'm not going to give you a character that's going to make you uncomfortable, and we were all able to discuss what we wouldn't do beforehand. And here comes an actor I don't even know, I don't know boundaries, and it was just it was intense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's how filming fucking Voodoo Danger was. There were some other parts that were. Is there anything else you want to talk about with this?
Yeah, I want to bring up a little. We didn't bring up a lot of the writing process,
right?
So I feel like we should bring up some of that.
Is there anything you wanted in here for me to scroll by?
I just want to ask you a couple questions about the writing process real quick. What do you think was the hardest part coming up with this?
I mean, the biggest issue was we had never filmed something. So really what it was we came up with this script that we had not worked on enough at all, but we had said, hey, be here on this day to film, and we went with it, thinking it was enough. We didn't think, like, oh, we didn't do enough. Just realizing that after the fact. So the biggest issue was we had not filmed something. Then we filmed something, we got a lot of information from it, and looking at it in retrospect, we just had not prepared enough at all.
No.
And so, like, we don't... We can come up with a skit with our skill level of writing. We can write the full thing out. We just didn't know everything we needed to write. So, hardest part was just not knowing what the fuck we were doing overall.
That's fair. And I guess I'll say my hardest part. Besides that, because that's clearly, I would agree, is the hardest part. Just the limited knowledge we had.
Yeah,
but
limited knowledge, exactly. Which I agree that's a broad. There's a lot of things. So.
Mine was writing for characters and trying to do different voices for them. That was very challenging for first-time dialogue, writing by myself.
And that makes sense because you did a lot of it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he did a lot of dialogue, so I see where that's. I didn't have that struggle as much.
And what I ended up noticing is a lot of characters were witty, where they shouldn't have been, and that's just because I don't know. I was kind of writing through my voice.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Make every character witty, and where it's like only a couple need to be. Yeah, I see.
And that's why I'm not gonna I don't want to make any spoilers for this next sketch because we'll have our own podcast talking about this one. But that's what makes me super excited about this next one is because I know what I'm writing about. I know the characters.
Yeah.
Okay, each of us just say one thing you guys really enjoyed about the Voodoo Danger filming process or the creation process, and then we'll sign off.
Absolutely. I think the best part about the Voodoo Danger project in general was how much insight it gave us into what we need to be doing, not only in the writer's room, but for pre-production and like figuring out, at least on my end, like how we should be shooting scenes and where we decide to like where we want the direction for that scene to go. What did you think, Isaac?
Well, I mean, for me, the whole experience, honestly, was just kind of like the best part for me because this isn't something that I do like normally or like have around me, especially from like being from somewhere that doesn't exactly have like comedy as a huge thing. So this is all like. It's new to me and it's a lot of fun. So it's like meeting the whole group, being able to like film something that someone wrote out and stuff, like act out a different character that's not Isaac. It was a lot of fun.
That's on me now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for one, I don't know. I was gonna say agree, but I don't even know if that makes sense. I was just gonna say I get both of what you guys are saying because I get a little bit of that too. Where, I'm not jumping into it as fresh as you were, but filming something was new to me, and same with you, Cole. It's like, we did learn a lot of shit for sure.
Yeah, and that's something I don't know. That's honestly one of my favorite parts is, and it ties onto this one is meeting the group, finding people who, because I've wanted to do sketch comedy for a long time, and Branson's been with it since every iteration. We've had 4 generations, and it was just at first it was just like just saying I want to do it, and not a lot of work went through it. And then the second time came, and it was just more fucking around. And the third time came, we wrote one sketch, which was the Voodoo Danger sketch, and then nothing. We didn't film it. We didn't do anything.
Oh, we were just doing a lot of like your stand-up shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Focused on this aspect.
And it's just, I don't know, just meeting everyone and doing the 4th. But my big thing is just seeing, especially Branson, willing to jump in and do these sketches again because, there's a lot of me just saying, let's do it, never actually following through. And I don't know, I just feel like just not being a man of my word, and just not being true to what I was saying. And now that we actually found some people who are willing to, for one, help me out, because I can't do this on my own. I realized that early on. I got a lot between stand-up and everything. And I can't, for one, play all the characters, especially the traditional sketch comedy we're trying to create. And then editing, I know nothing about editing, and finding Cole was just a huge help. You know, he came in here teaching me a lot about camera work. That was awesome. And then just having that one party after the comedy show here and meeting Isaac and having Grace meet the group and having Grace decide that, yeah, this is something she's willing to give some time for and help us out. And then filming it the first time, meeting Ashlyn. I don't know, just meeting everyone just came together, and I don't know, it just felt like we're doing it. We're finally 4 years in the making. It's finally kicking off. We're finally doing it, and I'm just extremely excited for what the future holds for Comedy Crew Productions.
I think just one question before we head off is, do you guys think something that we would like to incorporate in all of our new sketches is at the end of a filming day, we try and get together, do whether it's a family meal in the sense of Comedy Crew Productions, actors, writers, everyone
Let's go get some
coming together, getting something to eat, or would you guys rather do hang out, have a party, or just split?
Well, I've always liked the idea of all of us just celebrating what we did and cracking some beers and shitting and wait, I meant
We all shit together.
no, I meant shitting around ideas and
We take turns pooping in
you
one
sons
toilet.
of bitches, my bad.
It's high
Jesus
school
Christ.
all over
The
again.
one time I do a comedic pause and it works. Jesus fucking Christ. Shitting around ideas and just fucking around, enjoying ourselves and seeing what just because at the end of the day, the only way the group's gonna stay together is if we're having fun.
Absolutely.
And the party sense of it is keeping the connection, growing together more. But yeah, we can have pizza and stuff too.
Yeah, I think that's the type of thing it'll probably happen naturally. The people who want to hang out after will just end up doing it. I feel like we'll just want to,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone's hell yeah, we just did all this. Let's all party together.
Everybody will be hungry for sure.
Oh yeah, everyone's gonna be pissed off,
Especially
tired.
Especially if we're doing a whole day shooting. Yeah, we're in.
Last time, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I was pretty socially drained. I'm not gonna lie. The next couple of days, after doing all that, I was like, damn, I was just talking on camera for 9 hours straight.
It definitely felt like that aspect of it is something that kind of helped grow our camaraderie and the way that we saw each other as professionals in each of our aspects, and we were able to learn a little bit more about each other and just kind of gain more insight into who we are as people and how best to work with each other in the future. So I'm definitely wanting to try and continue that train of bringing us together, whether it's a meal or we have a party with food
or we go out.
Yeah.
Something a form of celebration.
Exactly, and it comes down to just the branding and how we want to do this, and if the branding is going to be easy if we're actually all fucking good friends and so far, yeah, we're close as hell. And this is weird because it's just been couple weeks and we're all willing to be so open with each other and shit out ideas. And
I've known y'all for 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah, it's very
Very short.
Yeah, very short time. And I know Cole. I know Brad's my whole goddamn life. I know Cole only for about a year, but seeing us all come together and being able to really just work and get shit done is amazing. And so I guess we'll wrap it up here, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for being a part of this. And,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, thank you for bringing us in. It's been a great thing. Go ahead, follow us for more Comedy Crew Productions, podcasts, YouTube videos, sketches, everything. It's going to be in link below. And thank you for joining us tonight.
And I guess I'll say one more thing is I will be having a sketch comedy video coming up here soon. No, sorry, not sketch comedy. A stand-up video coming up here soon on my main channel, Anis Herrera. And then yeah, that's basically. Anyone else want to plug anything?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Drink gamer subs.
Oh my God.
Hey, this has been the comedy.
Yeah, drink responsibly.
We're getting ahead of the sponsorship.
This has been Comedy Crew Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. I guess cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.